The ocean is a vast place, hosting around 3,500 different species of fish. It really makes you wonder why people say Earth's world building is bad. Because I only drew 100, and I hate myself! Hey traveler, my name is Kevin, and this is Devlog 4 of Moria. I hate my life. Picture this, little me. Hello, I'm little Kevin, and I have an idea. Oh, I wonder what if I created 100 fish for my 100 subscriber special. So I started designing fish, right? And then I ran out of ideas. So I played Subnautica, and I may have gotten a bit sidetracked and fully completed the game, but that's besides the point because I'm back and I'm painstakingly designed 100 fish. So let's not waste any time and jump into it. Imagine a whale filter feeding thousands of fish, and after breaching the surface for air, it dives back deep into the water and into extensive cave systems, illuminating the darkness by a crest on its head. And once it finds the right spot, it takes a shit. This whale is known as a voyage piran, which has a really shit digestive system. God, I want to kill myself. And because of this, many plant life and sea life are able to nourish in this dark environment, creating many bioluminescent life. Think of the jelly shroom cave from Subnautica, but with more flickering lights. Triple S tier. Let's start with the bottom jaw fish, or what my friends call the poop eater, because it eats the prawn's poop. Yum! Wait, I shouldn't say. This fish exists to eat poop, and then get eaten by something bigger. And it is also pretty integral to the ecosystem, S tier. Another fish at the bottom of the ecosystem is the glowfish. Very simply, it glows on its eyes, flickering to mate with other glowfish and see. Boring, C tier. We also have the teardrop fish, which has whisker-like features that glow at the end to help feed off smaller fish and other things at the bottom seafloor, B tier. Then we have the blinker eel, which mimics the blinking of glowfish so it can catfish them on Tinder and kill them. Like Drake always said, I have been advised by my lawyer not to finish that joke, B tier. We also have the starlight ray, which is a herbivorous creature using flocking routines and colors to apply the confused debuff on predators. It's like if synchronized dancers had strobe lights. A tier. Next is the deep bind eel, which uses its bioluminescence to pretend to be some glowing vegetation to hide from larger predators, B tier. Drape Chiron, which is the first of an array of creatures that have 3 eyes at the bottom of their heads. These Drape Chiron utilize strobe lights to attract and stun epileptic fish before immediately chomping them from existence. At least they get to die at a rave party. A tier. Another top predator in this ecosystem is the crescent horned Arupa, which does not care about bioluminescence at all, and just detects electromagnetic waves using its horn so it can hunt creatures down. B tier. I am much like this crescent horned Arupa because I ignore exams to pursue my passion. Cooking!
For our program today, we have the elusive Kevin, or known as Kotu, on his stupid creative world building channel, here to rate which fish would taste the best.
Did this guy just make fun of me?
So, which would it be, Kevin? If you could give a recipe on one of these, then it'd be amazing!
Well, you see, many people would believe that the Drape Chiron or crescent horned Arupa would be the most delicious, but I'd beg to differ because these are predators of the sea. I'd say that they'd have really tough skin and be hard to work.
Well then, what would you recommend?
First off, don't cut me off. Second, don't cut me off. Third, I will wear your skin on my wall. I would say the deep bind eel would be the best tasting. I would fillet it, cook it over a nice stone with some salt, and you could even make something out of those weird tendril things.
Back to our scheduled program.
Picture dense underwater vegetation. Vines, kelp, and all sorts of plant life. A large piran begins to swim over the vines, finding somewhere to rest. For boom! What appears to be large kelp vines grabbing the piran and pulling it down. And as you look closer, these aren't vines, these are eels! This is the basis of the false kelp forest ecosystem. An ecosystem containing large amounts of fish, mimicking vegetation for protection or ambush. First, we have the Fruitia eel, a giant eel that imitates large Fruitia sea stalks to ambush large creatures, often working together in packs to take down piran and other large creatures. B tier. Next is a tideweed eel, which has a much more omnivorous diet, primarily using its camouflage to roll a nat 20 on stealth and become completely invisible. A tier. Another mimicry creature is a tideweed ray, which is a herbivore utilizing its camouflage design to latch onto Fuchsia stalks or large tideweed and blend in. Boring. C tier. Next, we have the leaf arupa. What does it do? I don't know. I drew something and I made a sun, C tier. Finally, we have the tamasi fish, which uses its pin-like extrusions from its body to imitate the tamasi plant and attract herbivores, which it then ambushes and eats them. Just so you know, I basically drew a squiggly line and then made it into a fish. B tier.
We interrupt this video to bring you the void.
What the fuck is this? Where am I? How am I? Who am I? And if you gaze long enough into the abyss will gaze back into you. Oh, Mom made pancakes. Be right back.
Kevin, you have another ecosystem to talk about it. Okay, he's gone. Well, I guess I'll take over. Hello, I'm a fellow world builder and dungeon master, but you can just call me Noah. Anyway, let's move on to the actual important stuff. Now imagine, deep into the ocean, cracks and crevices of heat spewing from Kevin's thermal vents. Specifically, moving thermal vents. This creature is the rockback. This creature, though magical adaptation of phylum, vibrates particles around it, creating heat similar to that of a thermal vent. It utilizes this along with traveling in schools to create a migrating thermo ecosystem. This creature is a bottom feeder that essentially hosts a buffet on its back, if the buffet was live animals that could scream in pain and fear. Triple S tier. He wants to suck your blood. Get your mind out of the gutter. Okay, no, he doesn't, but he just eats fish and shit, Vampire fish! C tier. He got teeth or something. I don't know. I've seen it before. Lame. Next, we have the ray fish. It packs 4 wings on the side. It kind of just floats around as an omnivore. Yeah, C tier. Orange striped fish. Yes, that's its name. I'm a DM. I don't really have any good names. This creature eats really small fish and krill, and it only really exists to be eaten. Give me a name for this creature. I mean, he's kind of cute. C tier. Deep arupa. So unlike other fish in this ecosystem, it only visits the thermal migration as a pit stop. Well, for venturing into deep cold waters. Often, when visiting this biome, kind of like that one uncle that comes over, nobody likes him, because he's annoying. But he means no harm. Most of the time. B tier. Imagine if a fish could unhinge its jaw like some horror monster. That's the drop jawfish. It's actually kind of cute though. Bro just floats around, mouth open, snap shut when something comes close. B tier. Farmer fish. I ain't mean farming like harvesting, I mean he keeps some weight. Weight doesn't exist in this world. In his mouth. Okay, I'm done with this country voice. He uses this thing on his tongue to look like a parasite, which lures in other fish, and then he eats it. C tier. How much do y'all love pancakes? I hate... No, I'm just joking. They're alright. Pancake Ray. It's called that because he's got circular wings that look like pancakes. And yes, I know pancakes don't exist. I'll change the name in the future or something, if I remember. Next is... Oh, there's no more. Wait, Kevin just left it blank.
And would you look at that? I'm back now. No need to fret. I can take it over from here.
But what?
Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Picture a creature swimming in small schools that flee from predators. But if the predator gets too close, or they're backed into a corner, they crack 90s on your ass. This is the premise of the biome, the stone reefs. These little boys, known as the painter fish, intake the very few amounts of phylum within the water and stores it. And once it feels it is in danger or exposed, It spit builds a house out of stone. The stone reefs are a collection of stone structures very unnatural geologically and look more like a shitty 3D printer made it. S tier. Funnelfish. Usually he looks normal, but after being threatened, he expands his face like a Dilophosaurus to make itself look larger. C tier. Boring. Whiskerfish, or better named, Joe. Here's Joe with a top hat. He just swims on the floor and eats shellfish. Joe tier. Propulsion fish. Hear me out. If you had the ability to use magic, would you not launch yourself at max speed in a random direction when a woman talks to you? I state my case. A tier. Bloomfish. All it does is be pretty. The bigger the butterfly looking wings, the more females like the boys or whatever. C tier. Imagine being some diver and swimming around the ocean floor and then suddenly BAM! You get slapped by some fish's tail and it hurts like hell. The sand trap uses this to concuss fish before eating them. B tier. Armorfish. This fish is naked like all other fish, except he's got some sticky scales that lets him put stone on itself for two purposes: stealth and protection. I guess 3, fashion. B tier. Next is the tuberfish. This thing has a big belly that it uses to build reverberance and create a large deep bellow for mating purposes, and also scaring the shit out of divers. B tier. Finally, we have the tube ray. This is a very tiny ray that is designed in a way that it can travel through the cracked and crevasses of the 3D printed rock houses. C tier. Alright everybody, stepping into the ring we have the powerful rock jaw fish, boasting a 10,000 pound bite force with the strength to crush steel and protective plating on its face in the event of a conflict. And in the other corner, we have the all-powerful, godlike, mighty, horrifying, reigning champion of the ring, the White Death, also known as the parasite fish. Although not boasting the strength or speed of previous competitors, it succeeds in stealth with its minuscule size. Let the battle commence! And immediately, the White Death bolts into the mouth of the rockjaw fish. You see, spectators, the parasite fish specs heavily into dot bleed battle style by swimming straight into the opponent's mouth and eating it from the inside. The rockjaw is thrashing, but there's nothing it can do. What a show of the reigning champion's power. What's this? A third fish has entered the ring. The rockjaw has stopped thrashing. It's opening his mouth. Oh my god. The fish swims straight into the mouth and eats the parasite fish. What an upset! The White Death has been dethroned, and it's the rockjaw and parasite fish are A tier, cleaner fish is B tier. Moving on. The next environment is a really short one, but it's the lava zone from Subnautica. I mean, imagine traveling into the deep depths of the water, through cracks and crevasses that lead deeper and deeper down. But suddenly, you see light. And heat? Lots and lots of heat. And unless you're impervious to the heat, you would not have made it this deep in the water. But there are some fish that have migrated down here. Lava fish. This thing has only 3 fins, 1 big one, 2 side ones, and whiskers to catch plankton or something. D tier. Tri-mouth arupa. This thing splits its mouth into 3 parts. I don't know how that works within the evolution tree, but it is horrifying, and personally, I would shit my pants if I saw this thing in the water. B tier. Next is the armored ray. This thing has like keratin or something like that
Keratin
on the exterior to help protect from the dangerous creatures in the lava area. Whoa. C tier. Barbed fish. It's got like a barbed tongue that it sticks out to catch plankton and catch krill. D tier. Finally, the whiska fish. This thing behaves very similarly to our favorite fish, Joe, but it's more adapted to live in a rough and hot climate zone. Very much like a Canadian moving to California for the first time to reunite with his girlfriend, to only find out she had been cheating on him with 6 different guys, and after being broken up with, he had to fight for his own on the streets and earn enough money to get back on his feet, so he works construction jobs where he meets a kind boss that takes him under his wing. D tier. As a famous Buddhist monk prophet said, "You're hot then you're cold, you're yes then you're no, you're in then you're out, you're up then you're down." Catherine Perennius. Meaning, I'm rambling, cool area next. Imagine stepping outside into a vast white sea of snow and ice. This is the Glacier Zone. Or like the North Pole, where Santa keeps his naughty boys— Pause! No, I did not mean it like that. Oh my god. This dude looks like a blobfish, but he just has a bunch of blubber to protect himself from the cold world. Me too, buddy. C tier. Spine piran. It looks like an orca, but it has 2 spines that protrude from its back to help steer it at high speeds. C tier. Tuskfish. I literally had no thoughts when designing this thing. F tier. Horned eelfish. This thing has a massive horn used both for piercing as well as detecting electromagnetic waves to help find this thing's prey. B tier. The cool piran. He's just a chill dude. B tier. Echo nosefish. This fish makes a high-pitched noise, kind of like a beluga, except it's a very small fish that uses the protrusion on the front of his head. C tier. Coach, let me tap out. I need a break.
Yo, wait, what's up? You guys are gonna be with me while Kevin is taking a poop. I'm Ian, by the way, and we are gonna be covering some fish that he has laid out for me, but I am not gonna be following the script. So, here we go! Yeah! Alright, first up, hammerfish. Basically just a hammerhead shark, other than the fact that it supposedly uses electromagnetism, which I can't help but think that maybe he's just trying to divert attention from the fact that he ripped off a real-life creature. Unless they also use electromagnetism, which in that case it would still be kind of lame. C tier. Next, spiral fish, which I will henceforth be renaming it to torpedo fish because that's what it looks like, and it's a better name. A tier because I named it. This one is the chief fish. I think this guy attracts mates by licking its nose. That's what it says. I don't know. C tier. This one is the sweeper fish. It uses its tail to kick up sand like a smokescreen. Oh, that's lame. C tier. This one is the eye fish. Okay. Totally not the peeper fish from Subnautica. But no, this thing's got good eyes, if you could tell. B tier, because I like it. The moon haunts you! No, this one is the crescent moonfish. Is it posing weirdly or does it just have scoliosis? I think it just looks like that, guys, but weird fucking fish. D tier. Finally, there is the airy lago fish. This one Kevin apparently designed off of a fruit that he made a while ago. That's also called the airy lago. Low-key kind of looks like a granny. Really like ugly and homeless granny. Anyway, F tier. That's a big fat F tier.
In the shadowy waters of the swamp, life thrives in ways both unexpected and extraordinary. Here, fish have adapted to a world of mud, stillness, and survival. Ooh-bee, I'm a fish swimming free! Swamp fish may not always be flashy, but they're clever, quirky, and perfectly suited to their messy, marvelous home. Swamp Chiron. This thing lives in large swamps, utilizing the eyes at the bottom of his head to thoroughly inspect the swamp bed for fish to feast upon. A tier. Pistolfish. This guy sucks in water, then he literally shoots it out at insects and small birds, and sometimes people. And damn, it hurts. C tier, copied it off the archerfish. Spadefish. This guy is a rayfish that lives at the bottom of the swamps, blending into the seabed to not get predated on. Kinda like the soldiers in Vietnam. C tier, nothing special. Swamp eelfish. This guy takes a much more active role in the swamps, where it swims around active, hunting any larger fish when it deems that fish shan't exist. It also grabs things out of the water. A tier. The pleafish lives in fresh waters where it eats very small things like plankton and insects that fall into the water. And when being chased, it leaps out of the water and flies. Or falls into the mouth of a bird. 50-50. A tier. Elephant fish. Another small fish at the bottom of the food chain. It is omnivorous, eating both plants and insects with its long snout. C tier. The dragon eel looks up to the gigachad pleafish and also flies out of the water. However, not nearly as efficient as the pleafish. B tier. Finally, the horn-legged eel. This eel has horns as a remnant of its glorious past electromagnetism, but now only acts as mate attractors. C tier. Snapmouth arupa. This thing often lays in wait with its mouth open for some fish to swim close enough only for it to chase after it and snap its neck. A tier. Swallow arupa, also known as the creature you see when you stare into the abyss. This thing lives deep underwater in the darkness, and it is massive. It is a filter feeder and it swallows all the fish whole. S tier. T-bone arupa. I was running out of ideas, so I drew a lot of different things, and then this thing came to exist. D tier. Masked arupa. This guy has developed strong facial protection in the event of an attack, as well as acting much like goats, slamming their heads together until they lose enough brain cells to decide to stop. B tier. Crescent-tailed fish. It really only exists so I can fill out the spot on the evolution tree, but it's very simple. C tier. Lame. Red-nose arupa. This guy uses the bioluminescence produced in the hard, bubbly horn to illuminate the darkness of the deep waters. B tier. Elephant butterfly fish. Long, trunk-like mouth that uncurls to eat things. B tier. Prehistoric sardine. Yes. C tier. Shoebill arupa. This thing is designed off of the shoebill bird, which is a bird on Earth. However, I wouldn't call it a real bird because this thing looks like a person wearing a bird costume. There's no way you can convince me that this thing exists and that God made this whole...
Hello. You probably don't know who I am, but I am Slaminar, aka Kevin's editor. Kevin is busy right now, ranting about shoebills, so I'll step in for a moment. Imagine scuba diving in deep waters, pitch black darkness, no light but the flashlight in your hands. You twist and turn, bend around cracks, squeezing your way through tight passages. And as you pop your way out to the other side, you see this thing staring straight at you. Nah, don't worry, he's harmless. All it does is float around in pitch black caves and filter feeds. It really doesn't mean any harm. A tier. The sonar fish is a small fish in this biome with no eyes. It relies purely on echolocation to traverse the caves and find things. B tier. Next up is the stalagmite fish, which has an interesting counter to the sonar fish. You see, it shapes itself akin to that of a stalagmite, which allows it to cancel the sonar fish's subscription to life. B tier. The crestfish is one of the apex predators for this ecosystem, as it thrives by detecting electromagnetic waves from the surrounding fish area, using the double crest on its head, allowing it to excel against fishes like the stalagmite fish. Poor guy. A tier. Here, you know what? Why don't we go check up on Kevin and see if he's done ranting?
No, because I swear to God, these birds are government concepts. A bird doesn't look like this. This thing looks like a person in a bird suit or some sort of animatronic from
let's
Five
knock
Nights
out
at
the whales
Freddy's.
also.
Like
Here we have the ray prawn, which is one of the more common prawn found in the oceans of Kimoria. Its appearance resembles that of a rayfish with its large wings. B tier. The winged prawn. Now, you may find yourself wondering what the difference is between the ray whales and this one, but I assure you, this one has spikes on its back. C tier. The shell prawn is an older species of prawn. Recently, it has adapted to living in the waters. It isn't the largest of the other prawns, but it does have a shell on its back to protect itself. B tier. And next is... You didn't really make that many whales. Okay, here, let's knock off the leftover rays then. The T-flyer ray has a different front head to the other ray fishes. It uses this to grab shell creatures and crush them. It's called the T-flyer ray because of its unique wing shape. C tier, kinda boring. And the last ray we have is the zebra ray, which is a ray with a striped design and unclear defined edges. The reason for this is because it uses pack confusion tactics, much like an actual zebra. B tier. You know, Kevin really needs to step up with some of these unique designs here because they're really starting to get...
Get what?
Oh, hey, you're back.
Yeah?
Okay, great. You can name the rest of these fish.
Okay. Alright everybody, if you're still this far in the video, might as well like and subscribe. I guarantee you the retention rate on this video is going to be atrocious. So I'm going to need all the help I can get, guys. Let's talk about deep ocean fish now. The Salago is my favorite of the bunch. A fish, through constant exposure of magic, eventually develops a symbol on its body, causing it to create electrical sparks that can connect it to other fish, creating an underwater lightning storm. S tier. The storm rider fish has a commensalum relationship with the Salago, as it has thick skin allowing it to swim within the lightning storms for protection to larger fish, and in return, it just doesn't eat the Salago. A tier. It's like a Marvel Rivals team up. Ramasi. It's a friggin' tuna. F tier, unoriginal. The pikefish utilizes its long nose as a stick to slice at other fishes, much like a dad beating his kids with a belt. C tier, kinda like a swordfish. The beakfish got a neat beak. Swims in fleets for treats. C tier. Have you ever seen those videos of like the bloop or the grand maja? Yeah, so this is the swallow eel. A massive fucking eel that swims around deep oceans, filter feeding thousands of fish. B tier for bloop. So not only does the deep ocean have lightning storm fishes and the literal grand maja, it also has fish that suck in large amounts of water and blast dragons out of the sky. Do you remember this guy? This is him now. This Giga Chad fish blasts a literal railgun of water at birds and dragons in the sky to knock them out and eat them. Railgun fish, A tier. Oh, there's more? We have sharks that jump and fly out of the water. The flying Chiron, A tier. And then a predatory eelfish that uses its roars to echolocate fishes. The crest eelfish, B tier. It's kind of like a Reaper Leviathan. But most importantly, we have the great, mighty sardine. I don't know, like D tier is almost exactly the same as an actual sardine. Okay, I'm done. I'm tired of this stuff. I don't want to explain fish no more. If you have any questions about any of the fish, write it in the comments. I'm rapid firing the rest. Fine Chiron, it's a spike shark, B tier. Midnight fish blends into Twilight Zone, C tier. Sand trap buries itself, B tier. Frill eel, Dilophosaurus eel thing, B tier. Dotfish is different biology, male and female, C tier. Bright fish, D tier. Dragonfish, horns for mating, C tier. Hornfish, electromagnetic, C tier. Dramofish, looks like a camel I made, B tier. I am done. Have a good trip, traveler. Goodbye. What? Why are you still here?